The Lions lose to the Vikings, and that's all she wrote. Look, you know what? Going into this game, didn't need to win, didn't want to win. It's kind of we were at the 7th draft slot coming up for this new draft for the 2021 season. Neither the Vikings nor the Lions were even in contentions for the playoffs, so this game didn't matter. It was sort of just a get out there and watch your boys one last time go out there and rodeo. There are 2 things that I want to talk about, just 2 things. Number 1, when Walker tackled Kirk Cousins and they gave the personal foul flag. That call pisses me off so much simply as a football fan because they're claiming, oh, he drove all his weight onto Kirk Cousins. Number 1, that boy ain't even 200 pounds soaking wet. And even if he is, we all know it didn't hurt. You watch the way that Walker falls on Kirk Cousins. It, in fact, looks like he tries to push off his weight and not use the full extent of it in order to tackle him to the ground. So the call was terrible. I don't believe that, the refs had this idea of, oh, let's just have Detroit lose. That's not what's going on. What's going on is we're not even playing football anymore. We're just not. At that rate, even Dean Blandino, who 99.9% of the time sides with the refs, was like, bad call. And it made me so infuriated. I think at some point you have to give every defensive player gloves that have some sort of microchip in it so that when you touch the jersey of the quarterback, they're down. Just make it flag football for the quarterback or touch football for the quarterback. Because if you can't hit them like that, it's not football. And I understand we're trying to keep quarterbacks healthy because without them, you lose a lot of the spark of the team. And we want guys to be healthy when they're not in the NFL anymore. I get it. I totally get that. And I applaud the idea. However, at some point, you have to make it fair. Because then who's going to want to be a defensive player? Not me. I wouldn't want to be a defensive player. If I knew that every time, when can you even tackle a quarterback anymore? And if you can't, make it 2-hand touch like it's in the backyard when we're in the 6th grade and you hit the guy and you hit him just hard enough that you're like, I got you. Just change the rules. Just change the rules to being something so absolutely absurd, or don't call that a personal foul. It was a bogus call. Bush League made me so mad that I'm just like, we're not playing football. It's not football. That's not football. Blech. Number 2, Marvin Jones and the TD pass in the end zone. What? I don't even understand. There has to be clear, undeniable evidence to overturn a play in the NFL as it stands right now. There has to be clear, undeniable, oh yeah, that ball touched the ground. There was nothing. And the fact that Dean Blandino for a second time was like, yeah, I don't know what these refs are smoking because that was a touchdown, drives me insane. I just don't understand what they saw that they would make that call to clearly overturn what was a beautiful, beautiful play. I'm talking a dime. The catch was gorgeous, landing, shouldering that ball, not letting it touch, letting it hit your elbow. Marvin Jones, it was beautiful. That was infuriating that they could somehow call that back and reverse it. Granted, we scored on the drive, so it didn't matter. But you know what? It does matter. It matters to Marvin Jones. It matters to Matt Stafford. It matters to the integrity of the game. And if there is no integrity of the game, then what's the point? It takes a lot to make me say I never want to watch this game again, and that was it. Both of those plays, the sack on Cousins and then that touchdown play, made me look at the fellas I'm watching the game with, and I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? Play the game of football or don't call it that. Quite frankly, I don't know who to hand in a resume to for being a referee and what it takes to being a referee, but I could have done a better job than those guys today. Hell, a blind service dog could have done a better job than those referees today. Just make the right call. And if you screw up, don't overturn it. Don't make excuses. Don't overturn a great call. I was mad. Wasn't mad that we lost. I was just infuriated with the refereeing and the calls that were made. And all in all, just being like, you guys can't call anything right. All in all, yeah, it's a bummer. But you know what? We have the 7th pick in the draft thus far. I'm okay with that. I'm really hoping that we pick up Zach Wilson from BYU, potentially Trey Lance, seeing where some things go. I would love to pick one of those guys up, sit him behind Stafford. All things to look to for the future. Later this week, we'll continue some more videos regarding the Lions organization as a whole, but also be covering the postseason for some of these upcoming games next weekend. So I'll catch you next time. Thank you for hanging out, liking, and subscribing to Let's Talk Lions, and I'll catch you next time.